Greetings and happy holidays. I'm Blitzwich, and some of you know me as the freak that has watched every single National Lampoon movie. I'm starting a new series discussing the rare, unknown, and lost media of National Lampoon. There will be 12 days of National Lampoon goodies and oddities. 12 days of poon, if you will.
Peanut.
Today we're starting at the tip of the iceberg, which is the guide to actually watching these movies and reading the magazines. Well, the magazines are easy. Besides actually owning the physical magazine, most of them have all been uploaded to the Internet Archive. I don't really touch on the magazines, so that's where I'm going to end it there. If you do want a source that knows more than I do, there's a great website I found called Mark's Very Large National Lampoon site, and it has a lot of information on the magazines and such. I highly recommend checking it out. He focuses on the more literary side of Lampoon. Now for movies. A portion of these will be discussed later, but a lot of these movies can be accessed on DVD. And if you're a bit like me, there's also CED, Beta, Laserdisc, and VHS. Or if you're looking for a free option, there are some movies on YouTube, either the full thing or split into multiple parts. I've also seen some on the Internet Archive, Vimeo, and Dailymotion. And of course also streaming. I've seen some of the more obscure movies on Prime Video, for example. And due to the nudity shown in a lot of these movies, you will not see a majority of these online. Like, I'm not even joking. Finding these movies is a damn treasure hunt. Believe me. I spent 6 months searching for just a fraction of the DVDs for a decent price. This is where I would list off every movie, but I already did 3 years ago. So I recommend watching that video at 2x speed if you'd like to see how many of these movies there are. I recently added chapters to that video too, so it is much easier to scrub through. Just for reference, if anyone gets confused, I want to explain what exactly a National Lampoon movie is. It must either be produced or distributed by National Lampoon. Even if the movie was being made before it was a Lampoon movie and they tacked on the name, it counts. Also, sometimes National Lampoon distributed it on DVD, but nowhere else. I count it for the sake of counting. And lastly, sometimes Lampoon is smart enough to pull their name away from a project, but unfortunately, it is still included. It's like a tumor. So, if you see something that doesn't immediately state it's a Lampoon movie, check the back of the box. I also have a list on Letterboxd, and I sometimes post on my National Lampoon subreddit. Side tangent, for the longest time I was always bothered by the fact I made the subreddit r/National Lampoons, with an S. So I made a new one earlier this year called r/National Lampoon. That's just my goofy brain making me feel icky, so new updates will most likely be on the grammatically correct one. You could also join the...
Which Discord?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing!
As I have a small section for National Lampoon. I can't just leave with an introduction, so I wanted to discuss the National Lampoon website. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Flash and SWF files and all this way back stuff, but I'll tell you one thing. It is a damn fascinating look into the past, especially a website like National Lampoon. And especially how updated everything was. They had weekly shows, articles, comics, audio, a merch store, all this stuff. And what's crazy is if you look up nationallampoon.com today, get updates. It's all you get. It's so bare bones now. It's kind of sad. Sure, National Lampoon was pretty much a failure post, I'd say, Van Wilder, but people worked on these things. The history from when Lampoon started, all the media that was put out, and now it's just this. It's a shell of its former self. I highly recommend browsing the National Lampoon website through the Wayback Machine because it's a very interesting look into what National Lampoon used to be. And that's why I'm glad I'm taking everyone on this journey because, listen, even if history is full of failures and regrets, you still need to tell that story. This website actually guided me and proved some loose ends during my searches, so you'll be hearing me mention the website over the course of the series, but we'll cross that path when we get to it. And that does it for the first day of the 12 days of National Lampoon.
We got Poon.
Get yourself ready as I say National Lampoon 1,000 more times during this series, and I hope you join me next time where I talk about National Lampoon video games.